First of all, thanks to everyone for joining us this morning for this Blue Room Conference. My name is State Senator Don DeWitte. I represent the 33rd Senate District, which encompasses the western half of Kane County, the southern third of McHenry County, and the northwest suburbs. I am also a member of the Illinois Department of Employment Security Working Group, comprised of a bipartisan group of state senators. I'm joined on that commission by my colleagues, Senator Brian Stewart, Jill Tracy, and Sue Rezin. And we're here this morning with a few of my constituents here in the 33rd District, who in a few minutes will share their personal stories regarding their experiences with the Illinois Department of Employment Security and the issues and struggles they have faced in trying to receive unemployment benefits amid the COVID-19 pandemic. I want to preface my comments by saying that these are real people with real stories whose lives are being impacted significantly. We are 6 months, almost 7 months now into this pandemic, and things have yet to improve at IDES. The new callback system, purchased to the tune of $22 million, continues to operate in a state of dysfunction, leaving people in stress and anxiety over whether or not their cases will ever get resolved or that they'll ever get the answers and benefits that they are desperate to receive. Callbacks either are not happening or take weeks. Staff isn't properly trained to handle these issues, or calls just do not get answered. They are unproductive and solve little to nothing, leaving families wondering how to pay their bills and how to put food on their tables. You've heard all this before from across the strait from legislators, frankly, on both sides of the aisle. And I could go on about these and other issues at IDES that I hear about and my office hears about day in and day out from constituents here in the 33rd District. But I don't want you to take it from me or any other elected official. I'd like you to hear it directly from the people that are being affected. And that's why I've brought them here for them to share their stories today. With that, I'd like to turn it over to my first constituent who's agreed to share her story and her ongoing struggle, Sue from Gilbert's, Illinois. Sue, share your story, please.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name's Sue, and I'm retired and on a fixed income. So a way to make extra money, I worked at a fitness facility part-time. Back in March, the facility was forced to close due to the state mandated COVID-19 restrictions. Unfortunately, they haven't ever been able to reopen their doors. They've just permanently closed. So in May, because everyone kept telling me I should try, I applied for unemployment benefits and filled out everything correctly and began receiving my benefits the beginning of June. I continued to certify every 2 weeks and received my weekly payments. This went on for the last 3 months until last week when I received a letter from IDES. The letter stated that I do not qualify for unemployment benefits and I'm required to pay all the money back that I've been receiving. IDES says I owe them now $6,700 with no explanation as to why except 003. I don't know what 003 means. As anyone who would be told this, that you owe that much money, I have been in a panic ever since. I immediately called that 800 number and was told I'd receive a call back, but I have never gotten one. Right after that, I even called again and went through the whole process, the whole automated system, was told, and at the end of it was told I would not be receiving a call back. I've sent 2 letters appealing this, haven't gotten any response back, and made many other phone calls trying again and again and again to have someone explain to me what went wrong. And I still haven't received a call and but I did receive another letter just days ago outlining my payment plan. Again, this letter provided no explanation as to why I am no longer qualified for benefits and why I have to pay it all back. this process has been a nightmare. I did exactly what IDES said to do and gave them the proper forms filled out, provided all the information, and not only was told that I qualified, but was given payments for months. Now I'm simply told in a letter that I don't qualify and have to pay it back. No one will even answer the phone and tell me why. I think anyone in my position would be frustrated finding out that they owe nearly $7,000 with no explanation and no other avenue to even get answers that I deserve to get. I was even able to, and I tried. Monday was my certification day, and I did certify again, and it went through, and it gave me my next certification date. I'm a good citizen. I always follow all the rules, but for a system that is supposed to help me, it is surely failing the individuals as it's supposed to serve. I'm just one of the people among many that are just struggling with this, that we have no way to figure anything out. Thank you.
Very good, Sue. Thank you. Next up this morning, we'd like to hear from Tony from Dundee, who has an equally frustrating story. Tony, please go ahead.
Thank you, Senator. I was furloughed from my position on April 17th. It's approximately 20 weeks that I have been furloughed. As much as I did not want to do it, I applied for unemployment, and my employer told me that I should apply because it is due to me. So I went online, I certified. I received a letter stating that they needed more information before they could send me my money. So I faxed, they gave me a fax number. I faxed them the information they needed. I didn't hear anything from them. The fact that the letter was dated on 5/21, and I applied for unemployment April 19th. 5/21, I received a letter. I sent the information they requested. When I spoke with someone on the phone, one of the few times I did, they said, it doesn't matter, the information that you send us will not affect your payments. I said, fine. So I faxed them the letter that they requested. I did receive a check on June 3rd. I used and they said, make sure you recertify every 2 weeks. So I've been doing that every 2 weeks. Did not hear anything. And then I received the same letter that I got the first time on July 8th stating they needed the information again. So I refaxed the same information again. On the bottom of the cover sheet, I wrote, this is the second time that I'm faxing you the same information. Surprisingly, somebody called me the next day saying, why did you send it to me again? We already have it in the system. I said, I'm just doing what I was told. So she said, okay, fine. You will get the 2 weeks. And then she said, oh, by the way, we owe you for 8 weeks. I said, that's fine. So the following week, I received a check for 2 weeks, and then I received a check for 8 weeks. Every 2 weeks, I have been recertifying. I have yet to hear back from anybody. Twice when I tried to recertify, I get the reply on the website that I cannot recertify because I already have recertification in the system. They said, if you have any questions, dial the 800 number, which I did. I should add, prior to them going into this new system queue, one day I dialed 223 times without getting through. I kept getting I keep getting the same reply saying, our systems are busy, please try your call again later. So finally, when they get to the queue system that they have set up now, I follow all the prompts. They say, we will send you a text saying that we will return your call. And if you're not there prior, when we call the first time, we will call again in 10 minutes. If you don't answer, you'll be thrown out of the queue. So basically, you're carrying around your cell phone 24/7 because they say they can call anytime from 7 in the morning to 7 at night. So you're carrying 5 days a week, you're carrying this phone, afraid that you might miss their call. I have yet to receive a check since 7/29. And I keep calling. Every 2 weeks, Tuesday is my recertification date. I go in there. Some weeks it goes through, other weeks it doesn't go through. So when I try to call back to the queue, they always say, I'm sorry, you cannot schedule another call because you're in the queue. The last time I called the queue was on 9/1, and today is 9/11. I have yet to receive a call back, a text, anything said that, what's going on. I just want some answers as to why sometimes it goes through, sometimes it doesn't. And then I did receive the exact same letter that I did the first time on August 26th. The next letter I got was on August 27th. And then I got the same letter again on August 28th, each with a different date on the top. That's when I called again prior to September 1st, saying, do you need I wanted to find out if you need more information. The one person I talked to said, well, why you keep sending us this information? Because we don't need it. It's already in the system. But yet they send me the letter saying they need the information. So I just need some answers as, number one, please call me back and let me know, number one, if I'm doing something wrong. Number two, if you need this information. And three, why does it go through sometimes and why it doesn't? I print every time it goes through. I print it. So I have actual hard copy that I did apply, but yet I get no calls from anybody letting me know what's going on.
Very good. The frustration in your voice tells the story, Tony. Thank you for sharing. Finally, this morning, we'd like to hear from Terry from Elgin. We've had a number of conversations with Terry. Her situation is, I believe, particularly unique. Terry, tell us a little bit about your situation, please.
Good morning. Excuse me. On April 22nd, I tested positive for COVID, taking me out of work. I live with my elderly parents and they both tested positive. So what I did following week was I applied for unemployment. Well, at the time, I did not know that my employer was going to be paying me. So I did receive one check. I had an interview with unemployment and they did say, we're going to deny you. And I'm like, fine, I understand that. But, my employer never told me they were going to pay me. So I did ask her, when they stop paying me, can I apply for unemployment? And she's like, definitely. She goes, but go under the PUA. And of course, I went to do that. And there's a glitch in the system. You couldn't get into the PUA. So I applied for regular unemployment. Big mistake. So then I kept certifying and they'd send me letters back and stating that my pay was too great of an amount or something like that. And so I finally call, I get into the queue, and of course it's a 3.5 week wait. Well, I get that call and the guy did not have a clue what was going on. He's like, well, I have to have somebody else call you back. So I'm like, well, when is that going to be? I've already waited 3.5 weeks. So it was the following week, they called me back and she said that, well, it's going to go into adjudication. And I'm like, okay. So then I actually did have my adjudication meeting yesterday. And she told me that I would probably be denied unemployment, which supposedly you're supposed to be denied unemployment before you can get the PUA. So then she tells me, because I had COVID, I would not be eligible for unemployment. I said, ma'am, it's right on your website. She's like, well, I don't know where you saw that. I said, and I kind of raised my voice out because in my frustration, and it is definitely on their website that if you have a diagnosis of COVID, you can apply for the PUA. So she was very, very not nice. So what I did was, I just decided that, okay, I'm going to treat her a little kinder. I wasn't mean to her at all. I just raised my voice at that one point because it's on the website. How do none of these people that work there know that? So I just want to say that COVID has taken every aspect of my life. It's taken my mental and physical health. It's taken my father. It's taken my job. It's taken my ability to work. And then I have to deal with this dysfunction of unemployment. It takes a toll on people. I can't pay my bills. I can't pay my health insurance. I can't even pay for my medicine that I get. And I also did send them 3 letters from my doctor stating that I can't work, that I still have symptoms from COVID. And that doesn't seem to matter to her. It didn't matter to her. And I did send my positive COVID test to her. And those people are made of stone. They really are. But it's not, this process is not working for people. It needs to be fixed. It just really needs to be fixed. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Yeah, there are political debates and posturing and politicizing, and then there are the real stories that have to be dealt with. And hopefully the stories you've all just heard, they're actually just a small sampling of what's going on across this state. These are just 3 constituents in my office out of 59 Senate offices and 140 House Rep offices. But these stories, while they're heart-wrenching, they aren't unique. Terry got sick from COVID, continues to struggle with symptoms preventing her to work. Yet she's not received 1 dime in benefits and is struggling to pay for her medication. Tony's only received half of what he's owed in benefits. And I was stunned when I read previously that he had called IDES on one day 225 times and never got an answer. And Sue was receiving benefits after her place of employment closed their doors due to the pandemic, but is now being told she has to pay it all back. And I have to share with you, the day she called our office, stunned that she had received this letter. I'm not going to go into what her reaction was, but to say the least, it was stunning, and I'm sure shocking when that showed up in her mailbox. If this were a private business functioning like this, they would have been out of business months ago, because nobody deserves the deference that people are receiving from this program. It's simply not working, and people are being hurt by it. Something has got to change. The governor keeps saying it's an airplane that they're flying while in the process of building. I would suggest this thing should have never taken off the ground. And if it's in the air, it should be landed promptly. Something has got to change.